What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's your host with the most, the Magus with the knowledge, and today we're going to continue modeling Goku. In this part, we're going to make his hair. So to make his hair, what we're going to do is we're going to utilize the curves, and we're also going to use just regular old box modeling. So one thing I'm going to do is select my images here, and I'm going to turn on only axis aligned, and that way when I rotate around I can just see Goku. That way we can see what the hair actually looks like. So first thing that you want to do is we want to model or get the shape of the black area of his hair. Don't worry too much about his head being, you know, a bit bigger in the side view, because as we can see in the front view, you would imagine his head is a bit bigger. So I'm just going to select these, move these in, and move those down. Alright, so let me turn on my screencast key so I can see what I'm doing. So we're going to select this row of vertices here and hold Shift and Alt, right click, select all of these, and then hit C. Then we can select all of these. There we go. Well, now we can actually deselect, because we actually want to. Well, we want these. Whoops. That's actually probably good. Now we want to subtract up until about here. We'll add these to our selection. So one thing you can do, once you select a face or a vertice, if you hold Shift and Control, or I think you can just hold Control and do this, but if you hold Control and right click to another face that's connected in the same edge loop, you'll automatically select the face is connected to it. So I'm going to hold Shift and right click, select this one. I'm going to hold Control and right click, and there you go. So that's how you do that quick selection. And we can add, whoops, can add these maybe. It's about right there. And we don't want that one. If that's the case, then we can't have that one either, which is fine. We'll be happy with that. So we're going to hit Shift D, right click, P, separate by selection, tab in the object mode, and then what we can do, let's go into vertex mode, select everything and deselect, whoops, deselect these. I was trying to see if I could do that operation but in reverse, but it doesn't seem like it. So you can just, we just want to deselect the very outer edges. And we just want to scale this up. So remember, you can go to vertex and go to smooth vertices, but I changed my keyboard shortcut to Alt Q. So if you go to mesh and you go to, or actually you go to vertex and then you go to smooth vertices, you right click, you can add a keyboard shortcut. In my case, I can change it because I've already added it, but once you click here, you can just hit your preferred keyboard shortcut, so Alt Q, and boom, there you go. So now when I hit Alt Q, it automatically smooths the head. We just wanted to make that a bit bigger. And then we can grab all the parts from the edge and hit E, right click, turn off proportional editing, and scale them in. Now for some reason, because I have edge snapping turned on, so undo that because I still had edge snapping turned on. Let's make sure we don't have it. Okay, then hit E for extrude, S to scale. That's still connected. Oops. E. There we go. There we go. We can move that down. So actually, this is a good opportunity to make a rudimentary hairline for him, just so that this can be used later for other purposes. There we go. That's a nice Dragon Ball type hairline. Alright. Now, for his strips of hair, Shift S, cursor to world origin, we're going to use Bezier curve. So we're going to hit Shift A, and we're going to go to curve, and we're going to go to Bezier. Hit tab, R rotate, 90 degrees, hit enter, hit 3, S, Y, 0, flatten that out, boom, scale these down. Now I learned this method of making anime hair from Yan Sculpts. Definitely go check my man's out. He's like an OG of sculpting in Blender. He has all the sauce. Go check him out if y'all already haven't. I'm certain you have. If you haven't, you need to go do that. So, for this, so that's good. We're gonna Shift A again, make another curve, and we'll make a circle. And a tab. Make sure everything's selected. Scale it down. G and Z. Bring it up. And R. Actually, let's bring it up in object mode. And then RX 90 degrees. Okay. So, with this selected, we're going to go to our object data properties here. And in our we're looking for geometry, and we're looking for the taper object. So I want to click this, click Bezier curve, and I think we want to click add, and we want to extrude it. Oh, so that's wrong. We don't want to add it to the taper object. We want to add it to the bevel object. So let's click that, and there we go. I want to click fill caps so that that space at the end of each, well, at the end of the tube is filled. And now we can use this circle here to control the shape of our curve. So we're going to make the shape of Goku's bangs. So let's ascertain which direction. So this is the front. So I'm actually going to rotate this on the x-axis 180 degrees, just so that this part affects the top, affects the front, and the bottom affects the back. That's just a continuity thing for myself that helps me. So I'm going to move this point up. I'm going to scale. Okay, you don't want to scale, that's fine. I'm going to scale these points together. Scale these points. Whoops. Turn on. Okay, I see. If I turn on individual origins here, there we go. Scale those points down. G and Z, bring them down. You don't want too big of a triangle. You kind of want it to come in on itself just a little bit. And there we go, we have the shape. Now what we can do here is grab the center point, Alt S. Grab this point, Alt S. Well, really, we want this point to be the thicker point. We want this point to be the thinner one. Next, we want to bring this. Oops. There we go. Bring that down. Then gonna extrude backward. And then I'm going to select everything and hit Control T to twist it 180 degrees. There we go. Let's turn on the wireframe because I don't necessarily want it to be pointed all the way down. There we go. Okay, we have our bang. So what we're going to do is we're going to Shift D. Whoops. I'm not going to Shift D right now. We're going to grab the hair and move it over. And then we're going to grab this hair strand here and we're going to Shift D and duplicate it. And now you can line it up. And start placing the hair. Remember, when you're placing these hairs, you can, to scale the tips, it's Alt S. To twist the tips, it's Control T. For now, we're going to duplicate these separate objects so that we can focus on each tip individually. Once we're done, we're going to apply these to be objects so that we can edit them later. Alright guys, so now that we have the bangs complete, we're going to start modeling the bigger clumps of hair. So, with our cursor still in the center, we're going to Shift A and add a cube. And tab in the edit mode, scale it down, tab back in the object mode, G, Z, bring it up on the Z axis, scale it back down in the edit mode, and I like to rotate it on the Z axis 45 degrees. This will help us have that angular shape. Scale this down and hit 3 on the number pad. Not on the number pad, but on the keyboards above. And then we're going to extrude. Scale that up. Gonna bevel this. Rotate it a bit. Well, actually, before we do that, let's undo that. Because what we're going to do is in that model that I got from Dragon Ball FighterZ, the model basically had this basic shape, but to mimic it on the other side, they basically just duplicated it and rotated it. And honestly, while we are going to edit this shape to not be so boxy, that's a good place to start. And again, I'm just duplicating it as a separate object, just to make my life a bit easier. We can maybe even, let's keep it right here. That'll be fine. So then you get into this, which to me can be solved by moving this back. So essentially this clump takes this clump's place, which is, you know, it's alright. Can't really match the scale, but honestly, who really cares? Boom, we gotta compromise somewhere. So, you can take this, duplicate it again, rotate it. Yeah, you know what? That's what I'm gonna do. Because I got that shape. I'm gonna do my original plan. Look at that. Boom. Yeah, this was just bothering me. Visually. That's better. That's a much better solution so far. So, it looks like the front view has the more realistic depiction of how big Goku's head would be. So, we're going to select these, hit Control I, and we're going to scale this up. There we go. This is fine. Next thing we can do, actually, I wonder, shade all these smooth. There we go. And then, just so that it's not too many open spaces here, we'll put another miscellaneous strand here. Just because it still looks like it goes into the overall shape anyway. So, we're going to Shift D, duplicate this. We're going to rotate it. And this one's going to be rotated slightly back. And for this, we're going to go to Edge Mode, select all these edges, hit Control X to get rid of them. Control X to get rid of that. Duplicate, scale it down. So basically now I'm going through and hitting Control R to add edge loops in between these faces, so I can then hit Alt S to slightly scale up the center. And this just adds some more volume to the hair clumps so that they're not so sharp. So if you want to speed this up, you can actually select all of the objects separately and then tab into edit mode. Then Alt S. Individual origins, scale these back down. Very nice. And now we Shift D, tab in edit mode, A, SX -1, Shift N. I think those normals are Shift N. Let's make sure that they're on the inside. Okay, hopefully I didn't mess up the normals there. We'll see later. Shift D, duplicate. And I'm going to rotate this on the Z-axis just to add a little bit more depth. But it's still functionally the same piece. Same thing here. We make our edits. And then one last one. And then I'm just going to add one more purely to fill in this back area. And there we have it. So that's really all to making his head, and the reason that none of these are connected or anything like that is because when we, well, you know what, I'm just gonna give you a brief example. So I'm gonna turn on my materials here, and with my cap selected, I'm going to hit new. Change from principle to tune. And want the color to be all the way black. We'll call this hair, oops, hair material. So what we want to do is we want to grab, I wonder if this will work. I know, so what you want to do is you want to grab one hair strand, grab this one, and then hit Control L, I believe, and then link materials, and then that's how you link it. I'm wondering though if I can batch do this and select them all. And then select this. I sure can. And there you go. So now you can't tell where the hair, you can't tell where the hair starts and where it ends as far as the mesh boundaries are concerned. So to us, this is just Goku's hair. Ooh, and I forgot a piece. So let's Shift D, duplicate this, click, and let's rotate this. Boom. So we go back to material preview, and we have Goku's hair appropriately represented in all 3 dimensions. So there you go. That was the hair tutorial. So in the next part, we're going to make the inside of the mouth, and then the part after that, we're going to retopologize everything, and that's when the real fun stuff starts. So Thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to the channel for more Blender tutorials, and I will see you all in the next video. Y'all have a good one. Be safe.